Yours may be Sierra M. Clark. Welcome to another segment, another episode on my channel of Sierra Speaks. What is Sierra Speaks? Thank you for asking. Sierra Speaks is just an intentional space that I come to share with you, right? From my heart place, because that's the only place that I know. I'm a artist, and I intentionally move from my heart. I intentionally see from my heart, and I want to find solutions from my heart. And so, what I discovered in life is sometimes that as you go through life, we often not always speak from my heart because of the experience that we had or because of how someone might have treated you. And so here at Sierra Speaks is an intentional space to help you do the R.D.I. Yeah, that's the recover, the discover, and the empower, right? So we're here to help you to recover, discover, and empower yourselves from the inside out. It's just that simple, although it's not that simple because life happens. And sometimes when life happens, it's unexpected. No one told you, or no one taught you, or maybe it's you want to do something different because you've been doing the same thing over and over again. So if you are new here, welcome again with a heartfelt thank you for showing up. And so I mentioned that I'm a artist because I create, and so I've figured out in life to be an intentional creator of my reality and what it is that I want to create. And so I'll show you here one of my pieces that I created, and this is a part of my Which Way Is Up collection that can be found in in several places. And so I titled this Which Way Is Up because I needed to recover and discover and empower myself. And in doing that, I've learned that I was more creative than I thought that I was. And so my Which Way Is Up collection, it doesn't matter which way you turn this canvas, that the flower is still blooming, that something is still growing. And that is what I want to encourage you. That is what I want to remind you here in this space, is that no matter what has happened through life, that you can definitely continue to still grow. Or you might need to do something that plants do. You might need to prune some things so that you can grow to your fullest potential. Yes, you can recover. If you might have saw me looking at this book, and this is Finding Sierra. This is my first book that I wrote, and I'm just going to share something with you. So, in recovering and discovering and empowering yourself from the inside out, we often don't know where to begin in our recovery stage. February 5th of this year, I was in an automobile accident and I had to recover. I had never had any broken bones or anything. And so learning to recover was something that I needed to learn to do for a person who always was doing something. And I had to learn the art of sitting down and sitting still, the art of listening to myself, the art of my self communication. And so, in the process of speaking with you here, I want to encourage you to do some of those things. But the thing is that this is an unconventional channel. So we're probably going to talk about some of the unconventional ways for you to recover, for you to discover, and for you to empower yourself in places that you didn't even know that you could. And for like me, I didn't know that I had the right to because of certain things, right? And so in everything that you do, so we have to learn from what you feel. You got to learn from what you feel. And when you learn from what you feel, so you won't be afraid or crippled by the emotions that come up later on your journey. And so this is all part of recovery. This is a part of you discovering. These are tools that you can use to help you empower yourself from the inside out. Allow them to empower you where they once made you feel weak or vulnerable. So now, as you decided to recover, some of the things that you once felt while you were allowing yourself to intentionally grow in a different direction, you have to give yourself the opportunity to know that this might feel the same way, but if I'm intentionally wanting to grow differently, then I got to allow this to speak to me in a different way. And it might be in that place that you might feel a little weak. It might be in that place that you might feel vulnerable. It could be in a space that you've never been before. And so allow the insecurities of your past to teach you how to strengthen yourself now. As you engage into the essentialness of this decision, don't hesitate to feel, to heal, to have what might be there. And that takes us into the recovery phase. So as you allow that takes us into the discovery phase. So once you allow yourself the opportunity to recover, right? We're disrupting our old mindsets. We're disrupting those made up things that we felt about ourselves, that we thought about ourselves, because either it was taught to us, because it was the systematic things that we feel along life as we're growing. As we allow ourselves that opportunity to disrupt that, then you get to discover something new. It's almost like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and you get to go inside this hidden room. Or it could be like Dora the Explorer and Boots, and they're at this raging river and they need to figure out how to get over it. And Dora has the answer that she needs in her backpack. Like Dora got all the answers in her backpack. And that's life. So as you allow yourself to discover new ways of just being you, and that's the thing, is that life almost only gives us a one way of being your best, most magical, multi-dimensional, amazing, bad self. It almost says that if you've been hurt, then you got to stay there and you got to constantly keep reliving this hurt and this pain. Or you can allow yourself to discover new ways to being yourself, even though the pain is still there. Even though you might have these thoughts that sometimes come in that tell you something indifferent, you can still know that you absolutely can when you feel like you can't. Then takes us to INpower, right? Because once you recover, once you allow yourself to get out of your way, that's how I'm going to put it. Once you allow yourself to get out of your way, and then you allow yourself to discover something new on the journey of life, when you allow yourself to find joy inside your experience, you then activate things on the inside of you, on the outside of you, around you, and in other people that you didn't even have to really do it. Well, that's not true, because you had to recover and you had to discover. So I won't say you didn't have to do anything, but it won't come this time around with you feeling like you had to force yourself onto people or convince people to see you that you are a gift in their presence. So it won't come with those things anymore. And this is the cool thing, you'll now start feeling it coming from the inside of you. And although INpower is spelled with the EM, I spell it with the IM, because it's in you, right? The title of this is A Journey to a Better Me. The only way out is in, because you have to go in. And when we think about growing, right, the seed had to go in the dirt. And so sometimes the things that we need to recover from are things that we didn't even expect to happen. But inside that, you can discover something beautiful. Inside those moments of even fear, you can discover an opportunity to empower yourself, to show yourself a different version of who it is that you can become, but also what it is that you want to be. Yeah, so thank you for coming and joining us. So recover, discover, empower. Say it with me. Recover, discover, empower. Empower yourselves from the inside out. Recover from those old, outdated things and that mindset and that heart set that you felt about yourself, right? And then you get to discover a new attitude. You get to discover a new way of being you. You see my shirt? It says, when life gives you lemons, create an experience. That's simply all I'm saying to you. That is what I'm here to speak to you, to speak to your soul, to speak to that thing that's calling out to you, that you might be so busy in the hustle and bustle in life and you might can't hear it. So I'm here to be the out loud voice for it, to tell you to give yourself the opportunity to recover, discover, and empower. And when you do that, you will give yourself an experience. You will create an experience so unique, because it won't be one like before. Although it might feel like you can't do it, you can give yourself the opportunity to show up for yourself in ways that you didn't know that you could. Yeah, it's capable. And I didn't know it at first, right? I was believing narratives about myself, like my mom was on drugs, my dad didn't bother. And so there was a lot of things that life had me believing made up things about myself. I really had a bad complex about who I was. I didn't really have a great belief in the magicalness and my individualness that I bring to this planet, that I bring to my family, really that you bring to any space that you're in. And so the best thing that you can do is just being yourself. Yeah, I think it's Oscar Wilde that says, be yourself because everyone else is taken. How dare you want to give up your experience to be like someone else when your experience is just as unique as your fingerprint? And so this version of you was probably the most confused when it came to emotions. And that's the thing, we've allowed the roller coaster of emotions to control us. We'll sometimes say things out of anger and then didn't even really mean it. And so don't allow yourself to be controlled by your emotions. Allow yourself to create an experience that although you have these emotions, you're not going to allow these emotions to control you. Right? And so you're not going to allow these emotions to get in your way of the experience that you now want to have, since you allowed yourself to die to those things that didn't serve you, and you are intentionally blooming in a different direction. And it should absolutely feel uncomfortable. It should absolutely feel new, right? Because you're doing something different and you're not doing it the same way that you've done it before. Think about it, right? I like to use metaphors and things because it helps me to be able to process and see things. And so if you think about it, right? If you have a lump of cookie dough, right? Mind you, we're talking about doing things different, although it might look like the same thing. Because you look the same. Even when we have heartbreaks and disappointments and things don't go out our way, when you look in the mirror, you look the same. It's not much that changes about your eyes and your complexion, although you might be feeling pain on the inside. So if you have a lump of cookie dough, right? What can you do to that cookie dough to make that same cookie dough something different? Wait a second. What can you do to that cookie dough to make that plain cookie dough something different? If you said add chocolate chips, then you're absolutely right. Because if you add chocolate chips to plain cookie dough, you now have chocolate chip cookies. Just like that, right? The same thing that looks like the same old cookie dough, because you could look like the same old thing to people. But when you start that change and that empowerment on the inside of you, you will absolutely start to feel different within. And so, what if you add macadamians to that cookie dough? Same cookie dough that you added chocolate chips in, but now you're adding macadamia nuts to it. So, what kind of cookie dough do you have now? You now have chocolate chip macadamia cookie dough. So don't you see that although life sometimes feels the same and it can feel like a repeated cycle, you have to help yourself know that you can add things to it that can make it something new. Yeah, you are the thing. You are the common denominator to everything that you're going to experience. You are. You are. Not the people that you attract, not the job that you go through, right? Not even the people that support you. You are the most common denominator to everything that you're going to grow through. So allow yourself to grow through it. Allow yourself to know that when life feels like lemons, don't just keep making lemonade. Create an experience. And you are the experience. I mentioned February 5th when I was in the car accident. That car ran into me. I was on the passenger side. But what I realized, it didn't just run into me. It ran into my dreams. It ran into my aspirations. It ran into my purpose. It ran into my heart. Yeah. And so who you are is not just about the outside of you. It's about what's inside of you. And oftentimes, sadly, because we're hard-headed and sometimes the issue is us, and when you point one finger at a person, you got three fingers pointing back at you. So you are absolutely responsible for the life that you are in and what's going on. You are. Like, it can't just be everyone else's fault, because at some point, you got to be accountable. At some point, doing the same thing and blaming it on other people and not taking accountability, people will start to see that you're not taking accountability. Like, people can see that. And so Do yourself a favor and don't be like I was. That's all I'm saying. Don't be like I was, believing in made up stuff about you and not giving yourself the opportunity to create an experience when life happens. That's it. I want you to recover from the thing that hurt you, recover from you not believing in yourself, and allow yourself to discover a new avenue. Reroute it, right? Allow yourself to discover new people around you who want to play like you, who believe like you, who love like you do, because they're out there, right? And then you allow yourself to empower from the inside out. You are now mindful that life is more than just about what's on the outside, but it's absolutely about what's on the inside. Your character and your morals are still important. You can't have a nasty attitude and just expect life to just show up for you. Because how is it going to show up? You're going to attract your nasty attitude, because you're going to attract the thing that you are, don't you see? Recover, discover, and empower. That's the message. And so, write down with intent the memories, right? Write down intent with not just old memories, but new memories like that you want to have. Write the details of the environment, the people, the colors that came, what smells happened. Like, start journaling, write some things down that you now desire to attract, that you now desire, that you want to have. Give yourself the opportunity to not, give yourself the opportunity to see it differently, to be it differently. Because, yeah, they cussed you out, but you can also show up in love, right? And then you bring it differently, because now who you are in a space, at home, on your job, while you're doing your business, you are the same. So you see it, you be it, you bring it on the road of recovery, discovery, and empowerment. And so, if you take anything from this 15-minute segment, this short little time with me, I'm asking you to give yourself the opportunity to use those lemons. As bitter as those lemons can be, it just means it is as great the experience can be. Yeah, you can turn those sweet nothings into sweet everythings. Keep smiling, keep shining. Thank you for watching Sierra Speaks, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. And so, if you are new here, hit the comment, like, subscribe, and share. But I do this particular segment, which is Sierra Speaks. There's other channels, there's other uh genres on here of what I do. But if you're interested in the Sierra Speaks, then the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday, I am here speaking with you from my heart, because this is a heart space. And leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you plan on doing with those limits. Let me know what experience you plan on creating. Let me know what was the title of your journal prompt that you wrote down today. Let me know how you plan on to recover. And know that, give yourself grace, because how you recover ain't how everybody else recovered, right? What you want to discover is about what you're willing to discover. Because you can keep discovering boogeymans inside the thing, or you can be intentional about what it is that you want and no longer be the victim to your reality. And then you allow yourself to empower yourself from the inside out. It is much like plugging up a Christmas tree. Yeah, now you sound bright from the inside out, and it's not just a surface level thing. And so when something disappoints you or something doesn't go your way, you're not so easily knocked off your destination. You're not so easily to forget your purpose. You're not so easily to to remind life that you hit like a girl. That's the message. Thank you for tuning in. Keep smiling, keep shining. A better you equals a better me.